Time now for The Real World with Lee Anderson. And a third of migrants in an asylum camp at RAF Wethersfield have quit the site after turning their nose up at the living conditions. So 16 of the 46 migrants who arrived at the Essex camp in the last month have since been transferred to hotels by the Home Office or left to live with relatives. It sparked a lashing out from Redwall Rottweiler Lee, who blasted the woke cabal of lefty lawyers and charities blocking the government at every turn. Meanwhile, senior lawyer Martin Ford Casey hit back, saying lawyers of all political persuasions deplore the government's attacks on lawyers who are just doing their job. So, Lee, you don't think these lawyers are just doing their job, are they? Don't we have proof over the past few weeks, for example, with the Daily Mail investigation, that they are a lot of time actually doing a lot more than trying to follow the law?
I think it's a bit rich coming from this lawyer saying that, Dan. Look, you know, I've got a little bit of sympathy with some of the migrants, actually, because I don't think it's them that's complaining about their living conditions. I think it's the lefty lawyers, it's the charities, it's the human rights campaigners. I think they're just trying to cause trouble with government, as they always do. Look, this accommodation's spot on. I mean, I've stopped in worse accommodation in Benidorm for a week. Nothing wrong with that barge. I know they had the problems, you know, early last week, but nothing wrong with the accommodation, with the bedrooms, they've got gymnasiums, they've got the internet, they've got a bus on every hour. I mean, for goodness sake, these people, Dan, they're living in tents, one-man bell tents, in Cali, living on pallets, living in squalor, living in filth, they're freezing cold. There's no wonder they're coming over here. No wonder.
But, Lee, isn't that the issue? You know, so, for example, the Home Office has bought all of these tents to potentially use on the site. There's 1,000 just waiting there. Again, very nice tents, you know, nice bell tents. Surely we've just got to put these tents up, Lee. There has to be some sort of deterrent.
It should be a take it or leave it, you know. I mean, I made some comments last week that, you know, if you don't like the accommodation that we're providing for you, which, by the way, we don't have to, but if you don't like it, then feel free to go back to where you come from, which is France.
That's what wasn't quite what you said.
Well,
but you know,
I use salty language according to.
We're post-Watership, but we're very nice. Did you because obviously you were backed.
Yes.
Lee, you were backed by the cabinet. You were backed publicly by Number 10. Did anyone privately tell you off?
I think the thing is, Dan, I was backed by millions of people up and down the country. My inbox went into meltdown. My WhatsApp, my Twitter, my Facebook, I was getting letters through the letterbox at work. You know, there's a lot of people out there, especially GB News viewers, that were getting in touch by the thousands to say, you're saying what we're thinking. And we need more of that. We need more of that.
Indeed. No, we do. But look, in saying that, you only have to look at Wales to see just how bad things will be for the rest of the UK if there is a Labour government. And obviously this week we've seen the serious side of things with the terrible condition of the NHS in Wales. But there's also just some ridiculous stuff going on, Lee. So have you heard now? The Labour-run Welsh Government is ordering public buildings to fly flags celebrating so-called, I've never heard of this, aromantic and asexual people in its latest woke push. What's going on here?
Well, it's a shocker, Dan, isn't it? I mean, I don't even know what that means, but you can bet your bottom dollar it's a load more woke nonsense. Look, the Welsh Labour government need to concentrate on their NHS. It's that bad. It's that bad, Wales, in Welsh, that the Welsh residents, the people, the patients that's going to hospital for treatment, they're actually trying to escape to England to get better treatment. That's how bad it is. You know, and Starmer, Slippery Starmer, he holds this up as some sort of flagship. You know, the Welsh Labour Party, the Welsh NHS service. We know it's crumbling. We know it's struggling. And all they're going to talk about is flags on buildings. What a load of rubbish.
And by the way, because I didn't know this, aromantics apparently have no romantic attraction, apparently, to anyone. But look, Welsh government spokesperson said raising appropriate flags on public sector buildings is one of the ways in which public sector buildings can show support. Of course, the other horror story that we have, and it's another warning sign, is what's going on in London with the failed mayor, Sadiq Khan. Have you heard about his latest ridiculous plan to punish motorists after ULEZ? He's actually going to hit drivers again by charging hundreds of thousands to pay to use the Blackwall tunnel. Now, if you drive around London, you know how critical it is to use that tunnel. So this is another toll. He genuine. Can we just be honest about what he's trying to do? He doesn't want any Londoner to drive a car, does he? Can't we just start being honest about that now?
This, Dan, it's robbery without violence.
Yeah.
The man is perceived as a thief. And who can disagree with that? Because we've got the ULEZ expansion, now we've got this nonsense. It would appear. He's like a modern-day highwayman. He's like Dick Turpin. He's out robbing people on the highway. You know, the poor old motorists have got enough to contend with in this country with, with the cost of fuel, the cost of the car insurance, and he's hammering them once again. Roll on next year. We need to get this man gone.
Yeah, indeed. And obviously there's a very good candidate there.
Yeah, we've got a good candidate.
Very good candidate. And Susan. But look, Nigel Farage, here's an idea on ULEZ. I want you to have a look at this and you can respond off the bat.
OK.
Is something the Conservatives could do that would boost their popularity and, frankly, I think split the Labour Party in many ways and save many, many people, pensioners, small businesses, those who haven't got expensive motor cars, save them from an awful lot of pain. It seems to me to be absolutely a no-brainer that Mark Harper needs to liven up, roll his sleeves up and get involved in the fight.
So according to Nigel, the Conservative government could actually stop ULEZ.
Well, it sounds like
a
very attractive proposition, Dan, but, stopping ULEZ coming in doesn't stop Khan. And I'm a great believer in democracy. And the way we stop the expansion of ULEZ and the charging for going through tunnels and any other harebrained schemes he's got is by getting rid of the man next year. That's what I want to do. I want to focus on campaigning to get Susan in next year. If we do that, if we're successful, then all this rubbish you see that Khan's coming out with, it stops straight away. Let's get rid of the man, not just the policy.
Do you think it can be done? Because what's so interesting is at the last London mayoral election, there was actually one of our superstar panellists, Lord Sean Bailey, who was the candidate, and everyone thought he wasn't going to be able to win. And then when the polls came out right near the end, honestly, if your party had given him central support, he could have won. So are you going to throw your support behind Susan?
I will be out next year, Dan, with our brilliant candidate knocking on doors in London. But we've proved in Uxbridge and South Ruislip that, if you've got that single policy there, we can really hammer Khan on this. Look, the people of London have got to make a choice now. You continue with this man who's basically thieving off you, stealing your money out your pocket, or you can, fleecing people, or you can put a candidate in who has told the world that she will scrap the ULEZ expansion. If I was living in London, I'd be voting for Susan Hall.
Look, both sides of the story here on GB News. So this is what a spokesperson for Sadiq Khan has said.
Sadiq Khan is not prepared to step back, delay or water down vital green policies like ULEZ, which will not only save lives and protect children's lungs by cleaning up our polluted air, but help us to fight the climate crisis. He has continued to listen to the concerns of Londoners over recent months and has announced a huge expansion to the scrappage scheme that means all Londoners with non-ULEZ compliant cars will be eligible for financial support to switch to greener, less polluting vehicles.
Lee Anderson, you're back. Friday night, 7 p.m. Who do you have on the Real World?
Oh, this week we've got Steve Tuckwell, who's the new MP for Uxbridge and South Ruislip, possibly talking about ULEZ. Got Vince Cable on. He's Sir Vince, the leader of the Lib Dems. And we've got this broadcasting legend, Diddy David Hamilton. He's a great guy.
Oh, great.
Brilliant.
That will be a great show. 7 o'clock here on GB News Friday night. Lee Anderson, thank you so much. We'll see you next week.